Hi guys, it's Wendy here from Wendy Wise Beauty. Thanks for stopping by. Today I will be doing a review and just talking to you about the new release from Creed. I believe this one came out this summer. Actually, I did not even know they had a new fragrance out. I did go to the counter 2 weeks ago and I wanted to again resample Camina because one of my subscribers wrote me and said to me, Wendy, you have to try this fragrance again. I don't know why you don't like it. So I was in the city and I said, okay, let me try this fragrance again. I did try the fragrance, but once again, it was not for me. It was not the type of rose I was looking for. The sales associate, he was, you can say, very experienced. He realized immediately after he sprayed the fragrance that I was not into it. And he said to me, what are you looking for? And I said, yeah, it is a bit of a cold fragrance. It is not the type of rose that I gravitate towards. And then he says to me, I have something you may like. We have this new fragrance out and you should try it. And of course he told me a bit about the fragrance prior to spraying it, and he sprayed the fragrance and it was not your typical Creed fragrance. I liked this fragrance immediately. This new fragrance, it is called Queen of Silk. It was released, I believe, this summer. It comes in 2 sizes. I believe there's a 30 milliliter and the 75 milliliter. I did go for the 75 milliliter. It is your normal Creed packaging, and in the back there is some description about the ingredients and about the fragrance. The bottle is very beautiful and it says these essences and tinctures of selected flowers, woods, spices and hesperides are hand-selected and chosen each year by our perfumers. Further, it goes on to say Creed uses rare natural ingredients that celebrate the beauty of nature. The fragrance, it is described as an amber floral fragrance for women. This one, it has a bit of a different opening. In the opening, there is saffron, osmanthus, and magnolia. It is not a very overpowering, you would say, oriental opening, which is very spicy and extremely, you would say, warm. The osmanthus in the opening, it adds a bit of freshness. It does balance out this burst of saffron. I can also smell already quite a dose of this patchouli note, which is actually, I think, the patchouli. Let me look at the notes. The patchouli, it is in the heart note of the fragrance, but when it is sprayed, the patchouli is already present. It is a very complex fragrance. The heart note of the fragrance, it's passion fruit, tuberose, like I said, patchouli, and oud. The patchouli note, it is quite an earthy patchouli note. It is not overtly green. Queen of Silk, it is complex, so there is quite a bit of transformation from the opening of the fragrance until you get to the base. This is a fragrance I would recommend that it is sprayed on the skin and the fragrance is allowed enough time to transform and to air out. On a swab, it remains quite tight and quite close, but I have worn this for quite a few days, so I can tell you It is a fragrance with a bit of transformation. It is complex. This is a real niche fragrance. Don't allow yourself to be put off by the spicy opening, because the fragrance, it is not a fragrance which is heavy and spicy. The oud notes, it works very well with the other notes. It is not an animalic oud, it is a soft oud, normally the type of oud which is geared towards Western fragrance users. This is not, I would say, a very Arabic oud note. While there is tuberose in this fragrance, it is not a very loud tuberose. The tuberose is in the heart notes. The fragrance, it is a floral fragrance, but at the same time, you do not get a burst of floral notes. The passion fruit in this fragrance, it adds a bit of sweetness. It is not a passion fruit note where you would say, oh, this is very fruity. It works with the saffron and also the patchouli just to add a hint of sweetness to this fragrance. A lot of times when there's tuberose in the heart of the fragrance, it is very floral, very feminine, but this fragrance, it is a well-blended fragrance. The patchouli tones down very much this tuberose note. I do not sense a lot of tuberose in this fragrance. In the heart note, it is more, you would say, the passion fruit, patchouli, and other earthy notes. The opening of this fragrance, it is not the best facet when this fragrance moves into the heart note and especially into the base. After about half an hour, this fragrance becomes an absolute delight. My favorite aspect of this fragrance, it is the dry down where this myrrh really emerges. The myrrh note in this fragrance, it is very nicely done. Myrrh is a note which is not overdone, and I think a lot of fragrance creators tend to stay away from this note because it has to be perfectly done. And in this fragrance, it is beautiful. Queen of Silk, it does not have your typical vanilla musk dry down. The myrrh is very present and mixed in with some of the sweet notes and the patchouli. It is a beautiful dry down. It is different. I really look forward to sniffing this fragrance about, I would say, half an hour on my skin. The problem that I do have with this fragrance, I think I do tend to overspray because I am always waiting for the dry down of this fragrance, and I do want a lot of this myrrh patchouli accord on my skin. Queen of Silk, this is a really sophisticated fragrance. It is not dated in any time. This is one which is just a classic fragrance. This is perfectly placed in fall, winter, but this is an all-year fragrance. This is a typical fragrance that you would have as a signature scent, and you will spray it when you want it. And this is not a fragrance where if you were to spray it in summer, that it would be a faux pas. The passion fruit in this fragrance, it does add a bit of playfulness. This is not a very young, juvenile fragrance. It's sophisticated, it's classy. Due to the fact that it is timeless, this is a fragrance which would be perfect for people who are starting collecting fragrances. This is not one which will be in this year and out next year. This is a fragrance, I think, which will be with us for quite some time. Due to the fact that it is a bit complex, I would say go to the Creed counter, try this out, wear it around, because every time I wear this fragrance, I do find something different. It is not a fragrance for everyone. I think to like this fragrance, you would need to like a patchouli note. But this is a very wearable fragrance. It has excellent lasting power. When I spray this, and I do not spray fragrance on my clothes, maybe my hair and my skin, but when I do wear this fragrance, I can smell it on my clothes the next day. So it does have good lasting power, and it does have some sillage. I have not found a fragrance like this from Creed since I bought Virgin Island water. I mean, like I said, the house, they have beautiful fragrances. It is a bit pricey, so when I find or buy something, it has to be a fragrance that I love and a fragrance that I know I will get a lot of wear out of it. And this is one of those fragrances. I do think that this will become for me a signature scent because I love the dry down of this fragrance so very much. This fragrance has now general availability, so you should be able to find this at all higher end department stores. I did pick this up at Oberpollinger because they have a huge Creed counter, and they also order fragrances if they do not have it in stock. So if you are in Germany, maybe try in Bräuninger, Oberpollinger, this type of stores, you will definitely be able to get your hands on this already. This is my review on this one. Of course, you can see by my expression, I love it very much. Please let me know if you've tried it, if you plan on picking it up. I would be very interested in your opinions about this fragrance. I find the bottle, also the color, to be very beautiful. When this is on my dresser and the light hits it, it is a bit lighter. I don't know if you can see this here, maybe not, but it is a very beautiful Papua purple color. Thanks guys for watching. Hope to see you again soon on my channel. Tschüss!